the event that the fire alarm is activated, vacate the auditorium quickly and quietly by following the route marked by the green emergency exit lights, which are located over the doors. All doors open outwards and may be unlocked by turning the latch at the bottom of the door. In the event of an earthquake, we recommend that you do not attempt to vacate the building, but instead endeavor to duck down with the seats covering your heads. At a suitable time, safety instructions will be given. We'd also like to remind you that no eating, drinking, or smoking may take place in this facility. And if you have a mobile phone or any other items that could disturb or distract, please turn them off now. Thank you for your cooperation, and please enjoy the performance.
ようこそサンモールインターナショナルスクールオーディトリアムへお越しくださいました。皆様の安全のために次の事項にご注意くださいますようお願いいたします。1、万一火災警報が作動した場合は速やかかつ静かにドアの上部にある緑色の非常灯に従ってオーディトリアムから退出してください。2、すべてのドアは外側に開かれ、ドア下部にある錠を回すことによって中から鍵を外すことができるようになっています。3、万一地震の時は建物から脱出せず頭を覆い座席の下にかがんでいてください。タイミングを測り避難方法が指示されます。4、当オーディトリアムでの飲食および喫煙は禁止されていますのでご協力のほどよろしくお願いいたします。5、携帯電話やその他公演の進行の妨げとなる物品については今すぐ電源をお切りください。ご協力ありがとうございます。それではどうぞ公演をお楽しみください。
We would like to welcome
ladies and gentlemen, teachers and students, parents, members of the Saint Maur community, and distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Commencement Exercises of the class of 2017. My name is Yannick, and I will be the MC today. I would like first to call upon Mr. Atlee to begin the meeting.
Please stand. Almighty and eternal God, as each of us wishes to understand you, all people of goodwill seek to know you. Look down upon these new graduates, your beloved sons and daughters. Grant them a sense of service to the world. Give them generous hearts and respect for the dignity that you have given to the human race. May they lead future generations in true awareness of our responsibility to love and care for the earth which you have given to all mankind. Send your Holy Spirit to guide them and bless each of them, so that they always will be held in the safety of your hand and remain simple in virtue and steadfast in duty. Amen. Amen. Please be seated.
Class of 2017, please be seated. I would like to invite Isaac Bertolter, Marcus Kleiner, and Kiro Corana, our class officers, to come to the lectern and deliver the welcome speech.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcus Schreiner, and I'd like to welcome you to Saint Maur International School. My classmates, Isaac Burkhalter, Kyo Corana, and I have the honor of welcoming you all today and sharing our thoughts, memories, and experiences related to our time at Saint Maur. Despite our varied and diverse backgrounds, our time here has brought us all together. Even so, we have each had our own unique experiences. As for me, the school and my classmates have both served as portals into new experiences, knowledge, and friendships. I've had the opportunity to be a part of sports teams, bands, and other school activities. I've learned about the world and what it means to be part of a community. Soon, many of us will be leaving here as we embark on the next stage of our lives in faraway places around the world. But even though we may not see each other as often, I'm sure that our shared experiences will serve as strong ties keeping us connected in the future. But it was not always easy getting to this stage in our lives.
Balancing all of our commitments in music, sports, and school life was not always easy. IB was hard, and admittedly, we weren't always successful. But with the support of one another, all 36 of us are sitting here today. Our graduation theme, Chikara, represents this collective mindset. Chikara translates directly to one word in English, strength. Written with only 2 strokes that very appropriately resemble a 17, it is simple, but it delivers a powerful message. Chikara speaks to the strength that we, the class of 2017, continually find in one another. In all of our achievements this year, through our successes and through our failures, we have been there for each other. Together, we have the strength to accomplish great things in cross-country, volleyball, robotics, rainbow, jazz and senior band, drama, and of course academics, just to name a few. We were united in less fortunate times as well, namely Sports Day. We may not have been the best, but together we tried.
As we step into the next chapters of life, We will stay connected, stay positive, and stay strong. We will cherish the memories gained and the lessons learned during our times in school. These experiences will be sources for the strength that will help us pull through any difficulties we face in the future. On behalf of the senior class, we would like to thank all distinguished guests, teachers, family members, and friends who have assembled here today to celebrate the achievements of the 36 students who sit in front of you. We are thankful for all the people who have helped us up until now, and we are excited to show you that these experiences and support that we have gained will lead to our future successes. Once again, thank you, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2017.
We will now be treated to a musical performance by Yulia Akimoto, Fuma Aoki, Isaac Bertholter, Govindu Kure, Toa Demura, Mari Yoshida, Ray Kawai, and Emma Tanu. We apologize for a slight alteration of the program. This is an original creation by Mari Yoshida, who wrote the music and the lyrics. The piano and guitar arrangements are by Yulia Akimoto and Ray Kawai, respectively. The voice harmonies were arranged by Isaac Bertholter, and we also have Govindu Kure at the piano. While discussing the choice of songs for the graduation ceremony, the group chose this original creation as Marin manages through her music and her lyrics to express this sense of togetherness that the class has experienced over the years. Marin was keen to say, we're not perfect. There have been tensions and issues, but we know how to deal with them, and we know how to work together. microphone and the lectern to Mr. Marsh, Deputy Homeroom Teacher, to introduce our commencement speaker.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to introduce Mr. Reed Stevenson. Mr. Stevenson has a special affinity with these young people because, as well as being a journalist, he's a moron. A faint moron. He graduated from Saint Maur in 1990. He went to University of Pennsylvania, where he did a degree in English, and he's worked as a journalist under the auspices of Reuters and Bloomberg in Japan, USA, the Netherlands, Dubai, and now back in Japan. Now, I'd like to make it clear, though, that Mr. Stevenson is not just any old moron. He has one additional distinction, which even he may not be aware of until now. He was the first boy to obtain an IB diploma from Saint Maur. Looking back to his days here, he says he has fond memories, particularly of Mr. Scoggins' IB history classes. We can assure him those have not changed. And his TOK, theory of knowledge, and how it sharpened his mind and his critical thinking skills, and that has not changed either. In fact, the only misgiving Mr. Stevenson said he had about Saint Maur was that, in his day, there was no one on the faculty competent to teach physics. And some say that hasn't changed either. The point, though, is this. On returning to Japan, where did Mr. Stevenson send his own children to be educated? Saint Maur. What does that tell you? Why, Alice was full. No, Mr. Stevenson actually values the education that he received here at Saint Maur. He says the good habits he acquired here prepared him well for college life and beyond. He uses the skills in view, particularly in TOK, how do you know what you know, every day as a journalist. By the way, as a little more insider information, these days, you all know, we have a detailed rubric for TOK with descriptors like, gets it, doesn't quite get it, really doesn't get it at all, really doesn't get it at all, and so on, all the way down to fail. But in those days, it was much more draconian. They just had gets it and doesn't get it. And where do you think Mr. Stevenson came? He got it. He earned his +1 for TOK. And how do I know that I know that? Mr. Scoggins told me. And the one question that Mr. Stevenson was asked by one of the graduands, but declined to answer, was how did he first discover his passion for journalism? He said he'd be coming to that in his address. So I mention that now in case he had some idea of slipping out of answering that question. So please then give a very warm welcome to Mr. Reed Stevenson.
Well, thank you for that kind introduction. Thank you, Saint Maur faculty and administration, and welcome to your family and friends. Class of 2017, it's an honor to speak at your graduation. And as Mr. Marsh mentioned, this is an especially thrilling honor for me. I once stood on the same stage as you as a graduate of the class of 1990. And back then, we weren't in this elegant fine arts building. You probably know Commencement Exercises used to be held in what is currently the library. There's a great story about libraries that I like to tell. Soon, many of you will be going to places with huge, impressive libraries. And some people have their own personal collections. As you all know, Mr. Scoggins has his own library. I borrowed books from him, as I'm sure some of you have. The scholar and writer Umberto Eco was often asked by people how many titles he had in his own personal library. And he would often reply with a sly smile, 30,000. Now, that is far more than any human being, even a professor of literature, can read in a lifetime. In fact, he readily admitted that he had consumed only a small fraction of that collection. His library was a research tool. It was a repository of what he had yet to know and of what he knew he had to learn. Echo's point was this: the books he had read were far less valuable than the ones he had yet to read. And Umberto Eco never did read all the books in his library because he died last year. If you come across a course in college that includes his work, I heartily recommend that you take it. Don't count the books you've read or the facts and data you have crammed into your head. Instead, count the opportunities you will have to add to that. Search for an environment that will expand the things you have yet to learn. To put it another way, think of your typical know-it-all. That person will often try to make sure you know exactly how much they have learned, the number of books they have read. But instead of a know-it-all, be a learn-it-all. Approach everything. Approach the world as if it were your library, ready to impart all of its knowledge onto you. I fully encourage you to collect a lot of unread books. There's even an expression for this in Japanese. As Mr. Marsh mentioned, I'm a journalist. That's a bit of a vague term, but at the most basic level, I tell stories. So I'm going to tell you a few stories today. They're not very complicated. They are how to get out of your comfort zone, how to say yes, and how to say no. So I'll start the first one with a bit of background on how I was lucky enough to find my calling. I'll tell you a bit about how I made that decision, and why I think I was fortunate to end up doing something I really enjoyed. When I went to college, I was aiming to enter the sciences. I took biochemistry and other pre-med courses. I thought of becoming a doctor. But I was at an institution that offered a lot of different subjects. I took time to sample all of them, from business classes to the study of religious cults, even a course at the nursing school. And then during the summers, I usually ended up back here in Japan. And some of you will probably do this as well. And one summer, there was an international summit going on. It was 1993, hot, humid, and I really didn't have a lot going on. A classmate of mine, from Saint Maur actually, someone who wanted to be a journalist, invited me to help out. I showed up at a hotel in Tokyo, basked in the glorious air conditioning, and was given an ID badge. I translated, I did whatever people asked, and I tried to make myself useful. I had a great time that first day. I liked the people I met. The bureau chief noticed and asked me whether I wanted to come back. So I did, and I ended up there the rest of the week. And by the end, I was hooked. You could ask tough questions, learn new things all the time, and get paid to read the newspaper. I was lucky, and I found the thing that I wanted to do. I would become a journalist. So when the summer ended, I went back to school. I focused everything on reaching that goal. I joined the school newspaper. I changed my major. Fast forward a couple of years later, after graduating, I returned to Japan, and I sensed there were more opportunities if I could use my language skills. So I started. It was the right call. I ended up as a correspondent for Reuters, where I was entrusted with covering big topics. I interviewed prime ministers, wrote stories about the economy and companies, and reported on what people were up to. I was in the zone. I felt strong, even invincible. My job as a journalist, I stood out. People remembered me. They were more interested, and as a result, things were much easier. I think there are a few reasons for this. You might have a different name. You might even look a little different. But it probably comes down to the fact that me and many of you are fluent in 2 or more languages and cultures. It's a natural advantage, and it's one that reaps benefits in many, many ways. And not just in your school and work, but also personal life. You're at the center of attention, and it's a very seductive place to be. And as I looked around, I noticed that many of my friends from high school and college were also finding success. They too enjoyed the same advantages. And you too will reap those rewards, I'm sure of it. And this will probably be the case wherever you happen to be. But something gnawed at me. I mean, what if you took all the advantages away? I mean, what's left? You see, any successes I might have had were just as much the result of gifts. Being a bit different or having a background that makes you stand out, those are all gifts. There is the gift of a great environment, the opportunity to partake of a world-class education, the lucky roll of the dice, and having a set of skills at a place that really values them. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about libraries. I felt more like a know-it-all than a learn-it-all. So I decided to make a leap and leave Japan. And even before I really understood why, I knew I had to make a change. I had to get out of my comfort zone. So I went to the U.S. It was challenging, but I picked up a few new tricks. I learned how to do the job in different ways. And to be honest, after a few years, that also ended up becoming a little too comfortable. So I made a couple other leaps and saw the world. I was lucky enough to work in a lot of different places, covering news from locations like a cow farm in the middle of Washington State, to a car factory in the north of Sweden, the international courts in The Hague, and talking to political activists in Saudi Arabia. My point is, when you're feeling invincible, like nothing can beat you, take a good look around. Ask, are you stuck in the comfort zone? I'm glad I had the strength to get out of my comfort zone. So how do you figure out why or how to change your scenery? And I like to think of it this way. Whenever you find things are going really well, try to figure out why. Are you benefiting from the gifts you have? Whether you realize it or not, your upbringing, background, and even smarts are gifts. You're reaping the rewards of your environment. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But then try to figure out whether you ended up where you are because of the choices you made. Don't let your gifts or your advantages define you. The decisions you make and the paths you choose will shape you more than anything else. Then make a choice to seek out an unfamiliar environment. Talk to people you usually wouldn't talk to. Learn how those different from you see the world. I mean, now more than ever, when things are uncertain, it's important to find a way to seek different points of view, especially from people who might even disagree with you. But getting outside your comfort zone is really scary. It makes you feel weak and unsure of your prospects. It's easier said than done. How should you go about breaking free? How do you find a new path or a new environment? There are a few ways, but I think they all have one thing in common. And it's really simple, actually. You just have to say one word. Yes. Just say yes when you're presented with a new idea, a new proposal. I'm not saying you should say yes to everything. There's clearly some bad choices out there that should be rejected right away. But find a way to say yes to things. Say yes to an invitation to a new city or a new country. Say yes to meet new friends, new people. Say yes to learn something new. Yes is how you get your first job, your next adventure, and maybe even a partner for life. Just say yes, and then figure out a way to do it. Saying yes means that you will do something new and make a difference. Yes lets you stand out in a crowd and be the optimist. Yes will make you that one person everyone comes to. And yes is what keeps us all young. Now, after spending a lot of time encouraging you to get outside your comfort zone and saying yes, I have one final and brief thought. It's make a stop doing list. I got this piece of advice years ago, and I liked it so much that I saved it for an occasion like today. Everyone has to-do lists. I'm sure they helped you get through the final years of high school, through IB exams. You'll use them in the years to come too. Remind yourself of things important and trivial. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't keep a list of things to do. After all, they work. But there's a certain kind of power in making a list of things not to do. And be creative with it. You can add bad habits, tasks that waste your time, things that are better handled by other people. So as you head off to college and pick up new habits, ask yourself, what will be your stop doing list? I understand the theme of this year's graduating class is strength, or chaka. I'm sure many of you are feeling that way today. You're done. You made it. You've tackled some of the toughest years of your life, and you're ready for more. You have a summer filled with potential and hope. But there were times when you probably felt the opposite. A mountain of schoolwork to complete, looming exams, making you feel small and unready. Yet you summon the energy to finish that assignment, review that one final chapter, walk into that dark basement of the Montessori building and sit for hours. Where did that strength come from? Well, it came from you. But it also came from your parents, teachers, and friends. And you don't need me to tell you that you're going to need more as you face more challenges ahead. Whether you're going to an institution of higher learning, finding a career that is meaningful, or finding allies, you will need strength to make the right decisions and make a very good path. So remember, have the strength to say no, have the strength to say yes, and have the strength to get out of your comfort zone. Thank you. Congratulations. Bye.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. And now, I would like to invite Yukio Shisato, Ayaka Tosen, Udimi Katayama, Karen Itakura, Yuria Akimoto, and Zichuan Deng to the stage to deliver the speech by class representatives.
It's said that eternity is composed of an infinite many nows.
But at each moment, the things we do, our choices and actions determine where we are, what we can do, and what we can say we are.
Today, you can say we have graduated to the next stages of our lives. Through what has felt like an eternity, we have finally come to this moment.
Some of us have been here since Montessori.
And throughout our school life, we've had some people join us, and some people leave us.
And some people who tried to leave, but ended up coming back.
Friendships formed. We've made new study buddies.
We've had to leave some friends.
We've made some unfortunate enemies. But we've learned to appreciate others and the positive and negative impacts they have on our lives.
Only 36 students, but thousands of memories.
A melting pot of personalities, passions, and cultures that congregated into the unique character that is our class.
The class of 2017! Our ability to applaud at nearly everything, including Mr. Scouting's morning announcements.
The constant singing and guitar playing. You guys know who you are. Our very sarcastic
introverted, 1% Yuki-Yoshi, and Mr. Dixon's famous imitation of...
I have an opinion!
Yuki, the walking encyclopedia.
Wataru's undeniable love for AKB48.
Wangi's ability to just appear.
Where's Wangi? Oh, there he is!
As you can see, we've acquired an interesting collection of individuals.
By the time we entered IB, we could pursue our passions and become more unique. We found ourselves in what we did.
Oh, IB. The non-profit educational foundation that aims to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and unique and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect. Take the IB and have one of the best educations in the world.
Common side effects of taking IB are amnesia, insomnia, procrastination, PTSD of IB, binge eating, lack of fitness, laziness, confusion, stress, heart palpitations, fatigue, loss of patience, excessive yawning, and tingling in the fingers.
Not the magical kind.
IB would not be held responsible for any of these side effects. And seek medical attention immediately if any of the above side effects occur. And keep in mind, nothing will help.
Call your doctor if the IB is right for you.
Despite all the pain and agony, albeit exaggerated, we've had a lot to learn from IB.
How to express ourselves better, how to communicate and collaborate, how to be independent, and that there's more to people than meets the eye.
But now, it is the end of the IB year, and we never have to go through this again.
And to celebrate, we went to the cultural capitals of Osaka, Kyoto, and Universal Studios.
On the senior trip, our lodge wasn't quite what we expected. At all.
The day we arrived, we couldn't believe this was the place where we're going to spend 2 nights.
In the countryside! Our suspicions were proven right the next night.
At 3 in the morning, a centipede crawled in and bit one of our classmates.
Everyone was up immediately and rushed to the commotion.
People immediately took action. Some people were killed in the centipede. Some people were evacuated the room. Some people were carrying Emma to safety. Some people were calling the teachers. Some people were packing their bags. And some people were peacefully asleep. We sought vengeance on the centipede that mistreated our people.
This sort of symbolizes our IB life.
Our trip revealed the qualities of us as a past. Same as our senior trip, when we first encountered IB, we felt despaired, powerless, and even thought we couldn't get through IB.
There were physical and mental hurdles, stressful moments, and harmful things along the way. But step by step, we learned to work together and support each other.
Eventually, we bit the bullet, finished the IB, and grew into young adults that are ready for the world.
Hopefully. The experience brought us all together and not only made us appreciate each other, but let us find our place. Graduation isn't the end of the road, but the initial steps. And the present moments are the beginnings of our eternity. And so, class of 2017, remember, wherever you may be, your eternity starts now.
now present the School Heads Award.
Good afternoon. The recipient of the School Heads Award will be a student who is a good representative of his or her country, has a positive attitude towards the life and culture of others, is a contributing force in the life of the school, and has the ability to bring differing people together into a sense of community, thus furthering the cause of international understanding. We are pleased to announce that the recipient of the School Heads Award goes to Su Yun Luna. Is Mr. and Mrs. Lee here? Oh, yes, please.
Thank you, Mrs. Kendall and Mr. Moore. Let us now proceed to the presentation of graduates and the distribution of diplomas by Mrs. Kendall and Mr. McNeil.
Thank you. When I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Yulia Akimoto. Yulia has been at Saint Maur for 9.5 years. She would like to be known for her passion for music. She would like to thank all the teachers, friends, and students that have supported her throughout her time at Saint Maur, especially the music department. She would also like to thank her family, especially her mom, for loving her unconditionally and for supporting the choices she made throughout high school. Yulia. Kuma has been at Saint Maur for 6 years. He would like to be known as someone who can be too honest at times. He would like to thank the class of 2017, as well as his mother, who has always supported him throughout these years. He would like to also give a special thanks to Mrs. Yamada, Mr. Gregoriadis, Ms. Villanova, Mr. Scoggins, and Ms. Novik. Kuma. Masashi Ryan Asami. Masashi has been at Saint Maur for 6 years. He would like to be known for taking every task very seriously and challenging anything with 120% effort. He would like to thank Mr. Rucci, Mr. Scoggins, Mr. Dixon, and Mr. Payne for their continuous support throughout the college application process. Also, he would like to thank all teachers for making him extremely well prepared for the IB exam. And of course, he would like to thank his parents for all the support they gave him. Masashi. Isaac Young Burkhalter. Isaac has been at Saint Maur for 5 years. He would like to be known as the jack of all trades and for never saying no to a challenge. He would like to thank his parents, sisters, grandparents, and the rest of his family, as well as his friends, especially Marcus, Ziku, Toa, Ray, Ravi, and Miu, for always being there for him. Isaac. Haruka Kabalade. Haruka has been in Saint Maur for 2 years. She would like to be known as the short girl that hung out with the tall ones. She would like to thank her mom for all the love and support, Marin, Ayaka, Nadine, and especially Anya, for great friendship and unforgettable memories. She would also like to thank Mrs. Yumi Ishida for all the great support, and also Gwangi for always being by her side and making her smile with happiness. Haruka. Nawalage Dinuka Ravindu Hure. Ravindu has been at Saint Maur for 6 years. He would like to be remembered as someone who unexpectedly knew how to speak Japanese fluently. He would like to thank his parents and brother for the unconditional love and support, relatives from Sri Lanka, Dr. Suzuki, Ms. Villanova, Mr. Dixon, Ms. Yamada, Dr. Erard, Mr. Ito, Mr. Matsumoto, Mr. Rucci, Mr. Scoggins, and all other faculty members for making him a better person. Also, he would like to thank Ebizuku-san, folks who have supported him outside of school, and especially the class of 2017 for the amazing memories. Robin. Toa has been at Saint Maur for 6 years. His older brother Tayo also graduated from Saint Maur in 2014. He would like to be known as a boy who was able to overcome several adversities to earn his spot as a graduate of the class of 2017. He would like to thank his parents for allowing him to feel unconditionally loved, and his friends, especially Nagisa, for always being there and putting up with him. He would also like to thank all the teachers that supported him through his journey, and in particular, Mr. Gregoriadis, for watching him grow and providing him with compliments when he accomplishes something, and providing him with advice when needed. Toa. Zitran has been at Saint Maur for 4 years. He would like to be known as the one with passion. He would like to thank his family, teachers, and friends for the support throughout the years. Zitran. Serena Izaki. Serena has been at Saint Maur for 2 years. She would like to be known as the one who is an open spirit and the one who brings new views during discussions. She would like to thank all the teachers who have helped her throughout the 2 years to adjust to a completely new academic environment. Serena. Kazuki Fujisaki. Kazuki has also been at Saint Maur for 2 years. He would like to be known as the one who creates an environment where people feel calm and comfortable. He would like to thank his parents and teachers who educated him. Kazuki. Maria Heath. Maria has been at Saint Maur for 10 years. She would like to be known as someone who loves to create things. She would like to thank Mr. Tani for always being very supportive and patient for the past 2 years. Her home teachers for spending so much of their precious time for the senior class. Mr. Scoggins and Dr. Suzuki for being so supportive throughout her university application process. The cross-country and the Far East cross-country runners and coaches for being super strong and dedicated throughout the season. Our team spirit was amazing. Lastly, she would like to thank her family and Alex for always being there and always making her feel happy, safe, and loved. Marie. Marin Ishida. Marin has been at Saint Maur for 8.5 years. She would like to be known as a musician/violinist. She would like to thank her parents for being supportive enough to let her major in music. She would also like to thank her friends for making her laugh during stressful times. Marin. Karen Itakura. Karen has been at Saint Maur for 7 years. Her mother Yuka and Aunt Mika also graduated from Saint Maur. She would like to be known for her uniqueness. She would like to thank her parents who allowed her to come to this school where she learned about herself. She would also like to thank her friends who she can talk to about all kinds of random things. Karen. Haruka Sophia Iwao. Haruka has been at Saint Maur for 5 years. She would like to be known as a student who worked hard and played hard. She would like to thank her mom and dad for their continuous support. She would also like to thank her friends, Chisato, Rei, Toa, and Ayumu, who have made high school life an enjoyable experience, and her IB teachers, especially Mr. Dixon and Dr. Gerard, for their guidance and sharing their gift of teaching. Haruka. Nadine Katayama. Nadine has been at Saint Maur for 7 years. She would like to be known as an aspiring thespian and for being Nadeshka, a Russian term meaning hope. She would like to thank her mother and father for being strong-minded and strict, but undeniably loving. Her grandparents and aunt for their support. Her teachers, in particular Mr. Gregoriadis, Mr. Dixon, and Ms. Sedek. Ayaka and Isha for lighting up her day. Maria Avlakina for proving how strong ties of friendships could be. And Max for being accepting and loving. Nadine. Ray Kawai. Ray has been at Saint Maur for 3.5 years and would like to be known as a jazz bassist. He would like to thank Toa, Isaac, Marcus, ZQ, Michael, Sophia, Marin, Ms. Sharkila, Mr. Matsumoto, Mr. Crespi, Mrs. Yamada, and Mr. Dixon for their support. Ray. Yuki has been at Saint Maur for 10 years. He would like to be known for welcoming many new students to our school as a part of the student council and for his love for the history and traditions of Saint Maur. He would like to thank Mr. Scoggins and Mr. Matsumoto, all the teachers who taught him throughout his 10 years at Saint Maur, for their support in every facet of school life, and Mr. and Mrs. Sato, parents of Rie and Risa, for their unwavering support throughout the college admissions process. He is also grateful for all the library and maintenance staff for making his experience at Saint Maur a fruitful one. Thank you. Kiho Korana. Kiho has been at Saint Maur for 15 years. Her brother Ricky graduated from Saint Maur in 2015. She would like to be known for her contributions in volleyball and basketball. She would like to thank her family, teachers, coaches, the Shu and Imura families, Yoko, Ray, Sungum, Stephanie, Jasmine, Mame, Serena, Ali, Yuria, Yuri, Eleanor, Ayumu, Toa, Luna, Nagisa, Miyu, and Marcus. Gwangi Kim. Gwangi has been at Saint Maur for 3 years. He would like to be known as a unique individual. He would like to thank his mother and father for their emotional support and love during the high school years, as well as his brother for the brotherhood. He also wants to thank his friends, Oskin, Ayaka, Nadine, Ainua, Ziku, Marcus, Fuma, and Yulia for all the fun these years, and Haruka for making him the happiest person on earth. Julian Kyoharo Kublai. Julian has been at Saint Maur for 4 years. He would like to be known for leading his team in high school robotics to the finals in the VEX competition 2016 in ASIJ. He would like to thank his parents for taking care of him all of these years, and would also like to thank his friends for supporting him during rough times and for making him who he is today. Julie. Su-Yun Lee. Su-Yun has been at Saint Maur for 4 years. She would like to be known as a dedicated basketball manager, a Korean girl who appreciated sarcasm as a form of humor, and a student who was called both Suyun and Luna, but never thought different names represented her identity any differently. She would like to thank her mom and dad, and the one and only brother, Junwon, for the unconditional love and support throughout her life. All the Saint Maur and IB teachers, fellow prom and senior trip committee members, and the Saint Maur community for providing her the fullest high school experience. Last but not least, she would like to thank the class of 2017 for keeping up with her sarcasm and laughing it off with her. Suyun. Naoko Christine Matsukura. Naoko has been at Saint Maur for 15 years. Her brother Takeshi graduated from Saint Maur in 2013. She would like to be remembered for her clumsiness and unintentional humor. She would like to thank all of the teachers who supported her, especially Mr. Gregoriadis, Mr. Tani, and Mr. Scoggins. She would also like to thank all of her family members, including her mother, father, brother, and grandparents. She would also like to thank her friends, especially Karen, Kurumi, and Yukiko. Now, Wataru Mitani. Wataru has been at Saint Maur for 2 years. He would like to be known for his handsomeness, kindness, and intelligence. He would like to thank all the people he has met in the past 2 years. Wataru. Ayumu Nishimura. Ayumu has been at Saint Maur for 2 years. She would like to be known for being a passionate and committed individual and for being the founder and dancer of the K-pop dance club. She would like to thank her IB teachers, especially Dr. Arard and Dr. Suzuki, for helping her grow both as a scholar and person. She would like to thank the class of 2017 for allowing her to adjust quickly to the new environment to enjoy the last 2 years of high school. And she would like to thank also Sophia, Karen, Nagisa, Kiho, Miyu, and Luna for always being supportive and putting up with her. She also would like to thank her family for all the love and support. Ayu. Onishi. Kurumi has been at Saint Maur for 10 years. She would like to be known for being a quiet but passionate. She would like to thank her mother, grandmother, and Aunt Emmy for raising her and being there when she needed them the most. Her father and her father's side's grandparents for their consistent support. Lastly, she would like to thank all of her friends and teachers for being precious and helping her find the way to her own path. Kurumi. Ainoa has been at Saint Maur for 4 years. She commented that, quote, "I think people who will remember me will have their own reason," unquote. She would like to thank her parents and family for their support and opportunities they gave her. She also wants to thank Ayaka, Nadine, and especially Haruka for their amazing friendship and support through these last 2 years. I know. Yukiyoshi Sato. Yukiyoshi has been at Saint Maur for 10 years. Yukiyoshi would like to be known for his enthusiasm for learning and avid contributions to the Saint Maur Performing Arts program. He would also like to be known for his positive attitude and acts of kindness. He aspires to be the light to others in the face of difficulty, shining together in darkness, ever simple in virtue, and steadfast in duty. He would also like to thank his all too patient and kind mentors for their diligent service and support as teachers, and also his loving mom and dad, without whom he would not be the person he is today. Yukio. Marcus Sudyun Shrine. Marcus has been at Saint Maur for 3 years. He would like to be known as being a hardworking student, passionate soccer player, and someone who always enjoys performing on stage with his band. He would like to thank his parents, grandparents, brothers, teachers, and classmates for their unlimited support. He would also like to especially thank Isaac, CQ, Toa, Ray, and Kilo. Marcus.
Miyu Shu. Miyu has been at Saint Maur for 13 and a half years. Her sister Mika graduated from Saint Maur in 2015. Miyu would like to be known for being a member of the Cougars volleyball team and experiencing pre-tournament victories during the high school years. She would like to thank her IB teachers, coaches, Dr. Ueda and Mr. Scoggins. She would also like to thank her volleyball squad, the class of 2017, Kiho, Anna, Isaac, and her family for their unconditional support. Lee. Nagisa Tajima. Nagisa has been at Saint Maur for 3 years. She would like to be known as being determined and compassionate. She would like to thank her parents for everything that they have done for her, and all the IB teachers, in particular Ms. Novik, Dr. Suzuki, and Mrs. Yamada, for the continuous support. She would also like to thank her friends and Toa for being there through the ups and downs. Nagisa. Emma Tamura. Emma has been at Saint Maur for 7 years. She would like to be known as a long-term cross-country runner, accomplishing 4 years of Girls Division II Far East Championships, being the captain of the cross-country team, a pianist, percussionist, and vocalist, for her positive attitude, and having a very close, loving family. She would like to thank Dad, Mom, Clara, Amelia, the teachers at Saint Maur, and the class of 2017. Emma. Ayaka Ashley Thorson. Ayaka has been at Saint Maur for 6 years. Her siblings, Charles and Anna, have also graduated from Saint Maur, and she would like to be known for her passion for the arts. She would like to thank her parents, Natsuko and Andrew, her grandparents and siblings, Charles and Anna, for their unconditional love and support. She would also like to thank her closest friends and second sisters, Nadine and Isha, for their unparalleled friendship, and Ms. Egg, Ms. Novik, Ms. Latani, for keeping her motivated. Ayaka. Yutika Tomizawa. Yutika has been at Saint Maur for 4 years. She would like to be known for being cheerful around those whom she meets. She would first like to thank the class of 2017 and the teachers who have supported her throughout the IB courses. She would especially like to thank her mother, father, siblings, Mr. Scoggins, Mrs. Haig, Dr. Tamura, Emma, Fuma, Helena, Kurumi, and Naoko. Yuki. Lillian Marie Toulet. Lily has been at Saint Maur for 7 years. Her sister Emily graduated from Saint Maur in 2011. Lily would like to be known for spending time with her friends and enjoying every moment of her last year in high school by looking at the good and funny things in life. She would like to thank her parents, sister, Marin, Yulia, Elena, Emma, and CQ for their constant support and always finding a way to make her laugh every day. Lily. Helena Wakamatsu. Helena has been at Saint Maur for 15 years. She would like to be remembered as the one quiet student that has been in Saint Maur since Montessori. She would like to give special thanks to her brother Henry and her parents for always supporting her. She would also like to thank Yukika, Lily, Marin, Emma, Yulia, Uma, Myra, Anna, and Lauren for always being there for her. She would also like to thank Ms. Vitani, Mr. Dixon, Mr. Scoggins, Dr. Stiana, Mr. Ito, Mr. Marsh, and Mr. Kresge. Lastly, she would like to express a big thank you to the class of 2017. Okay. Taku Yamane. Taku has been at Saint Maur for 2 years. He would like to be known for his advisory personality and peculiar philosophy. He would like to thank his parents and teachers, especially Mrs. Shinohara and Mrs. Kelsey, and all of his friends, especially Kazuki and Serena, for always being there for him. Taku. And now we will have a message from Ms. Endo, the school head, to the class of 2017. Ms. Endo.
Class of 2017, you've chosen Chikara as your class theme for the year and your graduation theme, and you've translated that as strength. Through the video you've made and the speeches you have made today, you have certainly portray how you have lived the theme this year. There's another way you can translate the word child. That word that comes to my mind is power. And I'd like you to think in your mind now. You don't have to raise your hands. Okay? In your mind, whether there are any connotations of strength and power that overlap. What image of the word power do you have? There are different kinds of power. There's political power. There's monetary or financial power. There's power of speech. And there's power of influence. You have said in your speeches as you grew up together, or in your separate lives, that you have strengthened yourselves. And you are now quite influential people. And I'd like to repeat a few words that were read to you from the Mass yesterday, okay, from the second reading, a reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. Remember this from yesterday, right? Okay. Brothers and sisters, there are different kinds of spiritual gifts, but they all come from the same Spirit. There are different ways to serve the Lord, and we can each do different things. The Spirit has given each of us a special way of serving others. And I think it is very fresh in your mind when Reverend Amy Field from Christ Church had said to you, emphasizing the list of accomplishments that you have. That it is not the quantity that's important, but the quality. As you continue to better yourself, enhance yourself, and you as individuals who have brought to strength your characteristics, what's very unique about yourself to the whole team, you have made the whole team stronger. Okay? And you're bringing that strength back to yourself again. And you have now become people, individuals who can influence others. As long as you continue to be positive and forward-looking in what you do, I know you've talked about the IB challenges and the various adversities that you had, adversities that you've encountered. Okay. If you know to use the resources and keep challenging yourself, you become self-confident, you become happy in yourselves, and that itself will bring a ripple of influence to the others around you. I'd like you to know that in the future, as you grow up, okay, that is going to be a very important thing for you. That you have attained that power of influence as individuals and possibly later on, or depending on the situations, as the whole team of the class of 2017. And that's my message to you, that you continue as you pursue your aspirations in whatever part of the world, at university and beyond, as members of the family, that you would continue to be influential in a positive way to the people around you, the people who cross your path. Parents, grandparents, relatives of the members of the class of 2017 and guests of Saint Maur International School, please continue to be the greatest cheerleaders for these students who are graduating today and are going to different parts of the world and pursuing their aspirations. Thank you very much for celebrating this very special occasion with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Mendo. Class of 2017, please stand.
By the power of authority vested in me, I declare the class of 2017 graduated.
Thank you, Mrs. Eto and Mrs. Matsumoto, and congratulations to our graduates. And now, a musical offering by the class 2017. This concludes the commencement exercises of the class of 2017. Thank you for your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you in the gym to meet and congratulate our new graduates after the reception.
Take a little bit.